in, guys, to another episode of the TBT podcast.
Tyler, Thickman, Tyler,
Jason Dunn, good to have you back on the podcast. Will Shields, welcome into the podcast. Welcome in, everybody, to another great episode of the TPT podcast. It's the Arrowhead Invitational. We're back in it, the AFC Championship game. How did they get there? We're going to go over that versus the Houston Texans, and we're going to go over what the Chiefs have to do to get a big win versus the Buffalo Bills to be back in the Super Bowl to win 3 straight Super Bowls. Zach, how are we feeling after this Houston Texans game going into the AFC Championship? Chiefs get it done in Arrowhead versus the Texans.
We're feeling great, because I feel like as Chiefs fans, with us being 7-0 in the divisional round games with Patrick Mahomes, it's all about staying healthy and winning in a comfortable manner. Okay, there's been a few times with the Bills. We've met the Bills in the divisional twice, and it's been to the end of the game. But all of our other games, other than the Browns game where Mahomes got hurt, we've been able to take care of business in the divisional. And that's huge because we kind of treat that as like another regular season game as far as we're not showing all of our best stuff. We're not getting everyone involved that we need to get involved in these last 2 games. And we're able to stay healthy. We don't have to do too much. And so, I feel like last week is all you can ask for from as a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, no injuries. Kelsey looked like the best tight end to ever breathe again. They didn't really have – that was the weird thing is people are like, D-Hop didn't get a catch, and this guy didn't get a look, and Worthy didn't really get a look. He didn't have to because Travis Kelsey was just standing right there like, hello, pass me the ball, and Patrick Mahomes just found him every single time. Brilliant game by Kelsey. The only things, my real takeaways from this game, because the Chiefs were kind of led the game for most part of it. Like, it was close at some points, but it really just never felt like the Texans had like a chance. It just didn't really. Then they had the missed field goals, all that. Just didn't really feel like they had the chance. I feel like the Chiefs were kind of just like preparing for the AFC Championship game. I know that may sound cocky or whatever, but it does sound like the Chiefs were just like, you know what, let's just get ready for the Bills or the Ravens. And again, maybe the guys who didn't get as many hooked as DeAndre Hopkins is they're going to be fresh. They should be fresh for the next game. I would have liked to see more Kareem Hunt. This game, I would like to see Kareem over Pacheco right now, starting. I just think he's been the better back since Pacheco came back and just played a little bit better. So I'd like to see more Kareem Hunt. But the real question I wanted to ask you is some of the guys that didn't get looks, like Hopkins and maybe Worthy, are you concerned going into the next game that these guys aren't just going to get open because of last game? Was it not getting open, or was it not Patrick looking their way?
Well, it's a multitude of reasons. One is Houston's cornerbacks, Derek Stingley Jr., who's kind of in that Trent McDuffie tier where you don't really look his way all that much. And so that was kind of a foregone conclusion even before the game. We weren't expecting, if he was on Hopkins to get a lot of targets. And then Kamari Lasher, the physical rookie that they have on the other side, has also been great this year. And so we kind of expected for us to go at Travis Kelsey, who's going against their safeties, and Aziz Shahir, who just is coming back from injury. And then Jalen Petrie is out for the season. He was normally their slot corner. And so that's why Xavier Worthy got the 8 targets that Travis Kelsey didn't get. And so against Buffalo, I think it's going to be a little bit more spread out because, they had that really elite slot corner, Teron Johnson. But other than that, their linebacking core, their corners are just, average guys, So I think we're going to spread it out a lot more. I think Hollywood's going to have a big game, especially after the donut he put up last game. And I think it's not just going to be the Kelsey show this week. We're going to see a lot more guys show up.
Yeah, I agree completely. A lot of people are concerned about, them not necessarily getting looks. But again, like I said, what was the point? Travis Kelsey was open the whole game. And it's not like I don't think he flips a switch. Maybe he does mentally, but from like the regular season to the postseason, I mean, he just looks prime Kelsey every single year in
Yeah.
the postseason. I don't know what it is. You can keep giving people keep want to give me this Gronk stuff, but again, Gronk was a great tight end, but I don't ever remember Gronk being like this in the postseason over and over and over.
I think it's ironic that Patriots fans use the Tom Brady argument over Mahomes. It's like longevity, rings, but that's what Kelsey has over Gronk. The
Right.
longevity, and he will have the rings over Gronk here, hopefully in a couple weeks, because Gronk he didn't play in a Super Bowl, and I believe he has 3 rings that he actually played in, and so
Uh, yes, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah, the Bucks won, and then he didn't play in Seattle, I don't believe, and so Kelsey really has most of the valid arguments over Gronk. It's just people hate us. They love their childhood, and their childhood Gronk was, running over dudes. And I mean, admittedly, Gronk's peak was, something to behold, but let's not act like 2020 Travis Kelsey, 2022 Travis Kelsey, the first year without Tyreek, like he wasn't breaking every record that Titans have ever held. So like,
Right.
we could argue about that all day. I know that you and I could take down some Pats fans in that.
Right. And that's what my question is for this Sunday, tomorrow, is can he replicate that? Can he do what he just did versus the Texans versus the Bills? Obviously, we didn't see much of him in the first game versus the Buffalo Bills, but we all remember what he did last year in the playoffs versus the Buffalo Bills. I mean, he was blowing kisses to Taylor Swift, having his brother pop out of the stands shirtless, and the man had like 2 touchdowns and maybe a buck 10. I can't remember how many yards he has because I don't have it pulled up in front of me.
I think
But
he only had like
I remember he had
70,
this
but it
two.
was it was a big 70 yards. It was a big 70 yards.
Yeah, exactly. He had the 2 touchdowns, which was the most important thing. So do you think we're going to see a lot of Kelsey, or is it going to be, or it's more spread out, or are they going to go to the run game? How are the Chiefs going to break down this Buffalo Bills defense?
I mean, it's going to be Kelsey because it's playoff time. I just think it's not going to be a concentration where he gets a third of the targets. He might get 25% of the targets. Obviously, on third down, he's going to be the main target. But I would say Buffalo actually might have better guys to throw at Kelsey, at least if they do use Milano in that, because Milano historically has done a good job. I mean, Kelsey's had big games against Buffalo, but Milano is one of the more formidable opponents that he's had in the past. And so it really just depends on is are other people getting open? Because if so, we're gonna spread the ball out. But if not, I mean, Patrick Mahomes has no problem just going to Kelsey over and over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, again, their secondary, it is not as good as it has been in the past. They have found ways to get it done. Um, but if you're going to put Milano or DeMar Hamlin on them, I think Kelsey should have a good day.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Um, because yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they, because my thing is, if they were going to this game saying, "Hey, we're gonna double Kelsey, we're gonna shout out Kelsey," then you got DeAndre Hopkins over there. But I do think the run game is going to be an important part in this game. Kareem Hunt and Pacheco, what they do in this game. I think Mahomes is going to make a lot of plays with his feet in this game to keep it alive. Uh, but speaking of keeping plays alive, we got maybe the MVP over there, Josh
Yeah.
Allen, who has played not this 350 yards, 3 touchdowns on a pick type games. No. He's going for 130, 140, 70 yards on the ground and a rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns. He's taking care of the ball, using his legs when he has to, and their run game has been key for them the last 2 games in the postseason. How do you expect Steve Spagnuolo, because there's a lot of criticism last game for not using a spy on Josh Allen at times. How do you think Steve Spagnuolo basically has a game plan to slow Josh Allen down, slow him down because he's not going to stop him?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because we've went up against rushing quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson in the past, and it doesn't seem like we really throw a lot of eggs into stopping them running. We really just don't. I mean, it's why they get us over and over again. And it's been frustrating since Spags got here, but at the same time, I mean, he's won 3 Super Bowls with us. He knows what he's doing. Maybe he's like, we'll allow this, but we're not going to allow him to have all these deep ball throws because that's really the stuff
Right.
that gets us, especially 2021. He was hitting Gabe Davis down the field repeatedly. And so I don't know. I mean, there's only you can only cover so many things. And maybe Spags is willing to give up the run. Maybe he believes that Josh Allen is so good at throwing right now. We don't even want him throwing the ball. We'd rather him run and hope that we can, keep him out of fourth and short, third and short. And so I really don't know if that's what they're gonna go for, but I'm not Spags.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think that's it. And we've seen this in the past. We let Jalen Hurts run all over us, but we did not let other guys close. If you remember, AJ Brown didn't have a big game. Devontae Smith didn't have a big game in that game. Lamar Jackson, the last time we played him in the playoffs, he didn't run very much, but they were able to get to the quarterback, I think, in the last AFC Championship game, which made it different. A lot of people say, oh, Lamar just didn't run. Well, he didn't really have time to run when he had Menahue or he had George Karlaftis in his face or Chris Jones in his face. So I think that's the biggest thing is they were able to get to the quarterback. This Bills offensive line has been really good.
Yeah.
We were not able to get to Josh Allen last game. They're not talented at receiver. They kind of remind me in a way of the old Chiefs team back in the day. Obviously, they don't. James Cook is a good running back. They don't have that dominant running back where you didn't have the best receivers with Trent Green and those guys, but you had the best offensive line in the league. And he was going to sit there and have time in the pocket to find, Dante or find Jeff Webb or Eddie Kennison or something like that. Not great receivers, but you had a good quarterback behind a great offensive line. I think that's what it is right now. You have a great quarterback behind a great offensive line, and he's able to just find guys like Shakir and Coleman, again, who guys aren't, you shake your boots at when you hear these guys on the other side of the roster. But these guys have been able to make plays because Josh Allen's been able to have time in the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there to watch 2003, 2004 Chiefs, unfortunately, but I was there to watch 2022 Chiefs, the Super Bowl year, and it's very similar. The guys we hit our tight end, we hit our slot receiver who was Juju at the time. They hit Shakir. Good offensive. Orlando Brown had his issues that year, but other than that, elite offensive line. And yeah, I mean, that's when you have an elite quarterback like that. I mean, it really looks like that is the way. I mean, the Patriots did a lot. The mid 2000s Patriots, right before Randy Moss got there, it was like that. The Patriots did it when they were with Edelman in the last few runs they made. And so it looks like that is just the archetype to go with your team when you have an elite quarterback. But one thing that is different this game than last is because we have Jalen Watson, it's going to give McDuffie the opportunity to go against Shakir, who is, I mean, they're a very balanced group, but Shakir is obviously the standout on that team. It's going to give McDuffie the chance to take on Shakir in the slot. And, Watson's going to do better than Najee Johnson or Joshua Williams did. Obviously, one of them is still going to be on the field at most points. But I'm really looking forward to the additions we made on defense, getting back guys from injury, Charles Omenihu, that I feel like we're going to play a different type of defense this time around.
Yeah, and we have to remember that is the Chiefs were without some guys when they played the Bills. I don't know if they had Hopkins yet either.
We had Hopkins, but we didn't have Hollywood.
Okay, we may have had Hopkins. I couldn't remember if we had Hopkins or not. But yes, we had Hopkins. Yes, we did not have Hollywood Brown. But we had some guys on the defensive side, like you said. This was not a fully healthy Chiefs team playing the Buffalo Bills. So I'm very excited for this. This is one of the more AFC Championship games where I've been a little bit nervous about, a little bit just really ready about, probably since the Tennessee Titans one, the first one we were in with, or the second one we were in with Patrick Mahomes. Even that first one we were in with Patrick Mahomes going up against Tom Brady. But give me your three keys to this game before we start to wrap it up. The three keys to beating the Buffalo Bills and playing for a third straight Lombardi Trophy.
All right, my three keys, two of them are on offense and one of them are on defense, because I feel like a lot of what our offense is able to do is going to help our defense. Because if our offense is making them throw the ball, don't get it twisted. The Bills are not a top 5 passing offense. Josh Allen is an MVP candidate because of their ability to run this year, his ability to run, James Cook's ability to run. If our offense does what it needs to do and gets points on the board and takes them out of the game where it's 10-0, 14-3, that completely changes. So that's one key. Just offense, just Score early. We can't play this Chiefs playoff game where we are trailing 10-0 against this team because they're going to run with James Cook, and then when they get in third and short, they're going to QB power with Josh Allen and keep the chains moving, and that's just not going to work for us, okay? That's the first key, keeping it moving on offense early. Second key is establishing the run game because Buffalo is very susceptible. I mean, you saw that first drive come out of half that Baltimore had, or second drive come out of half. How many times did they run the ball in a row? 12 times, and they scored like it was nothing. I know that's Derrick Henry, but if we can get anything similar to that, that even helps our offense keep it going as the game progresses and they get tired because they're not a big team. Their front seven is not big, and they're not really exceptional either. They're not a very strong front seven. And then my third key is just finishing the play on defense. How many times have we seen Josh Allen, Chris Jones has his arm around him, George Karlaftis is right there about to strip sack him, and we just can't finish the play, and then he hits some crazy sideline throw. That happens every time we play them. We need the urgency on defense in our front seven, our pass rushers, that we need to get to that guy. And we need to, when we get to him, there's no, we're not worried about penalties. We need to wrap him up and take him to the ground because otherwise he's going to have a field day extending the play.
Those, I don't even know if I need to share mine because those keys right there are absolutely on point because
hey, share yours.
The last one you just said, the last one you just said is like music to my ears. Finish the play. If you have him, throw him down. Do not let him shrug it off and then throw a 65-yard bomb and a corner tries to dive for the freaking pass and some running back catches it in the end zone. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Listen, Chiefs, I don't need it. Y'all deep defense, if you can hear me, I can't have high blood pressure. I got some kidney stuff going on. Y'all need my blood pressure low. So I need, the first one you said is one of my keys as well. And it goes along with stopping the run, like you said. We got to stop the run. If you stop the run and he's having to drop back, again, he threw for 120 yards last game.
And that's common.
This ain't Alex Smith. 120 yards. I know he ran for 70, but put those together. That's 200 total yards. I know he ran two of them in because he's on the 5-yard line. But James Cook was their lightning last game. He was their everything last game. I think before half he had 115 yards. So if you can slow down their run game, and he's relying on guys who are not playmakers to make plays, that's huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because we know as the game goes on, Spags and early on in the games, if you notice, Spags' blitzes aren't as effective as they are in the fourth quarter. Look at last game.
True.
We had probably, 3 or 4 in the last quarter and a half. The first two quarters, maybe had 2 sacks, a sack. But again, we had 8 sacks total in the end of the game because, again, it starts to wear down your offensive line. And if we can get Josh Allen to play like he has in the past and want to be Superman because the run game is not there for them, that is huge. Because we know that in the past, the man tries to play hero ball. But lately, this run game, the way they've been able to effectively run the ball and even getting it on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, or 2nd and 1, it's Josh Allen time. He's just going to plunge forward and get that first down. So key number 1, stop that run game. Key number 2 is we got to have an X factor on offense. If it's not Kelsey, if it's not D-Hop, I think the guy that's going to step up in this game, I think it's going to be Noah Gray. The Buffalo Bills have not been a team that's great on guarding tight ends, but I think Noah Gray is the guy that can be the X factor in this game. I think he was the only other guy to have 2 catches last game.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns against the Bills the first time, 4 catches for 23 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he was open. So if they're not good at guarding tight ends, they know they're going to have to guard Kelsey. That means the very end of their resources is going at stopping whoever's next. And so I totally agree on that.
Yeah, Noah Gray, I think he's going to be the X factor. And number 3, I know this is kind of obvious one, and the Chiefs have done such a good job. I don't even want to say it because I might jinx them, but they've done such a great job since week 9, week 10, take care of the ball early in the game. In the regular season, Patrick Mahomes had that early turnover. That was the last week we had the turnover problem.
Yeah.
Since then, Patrick Mahomes only threw, I think, 2 more picks, 1 more pick. He had 11 picks at that time. I think he finished with 13. So yeah, we've taken care of the ball since then. Not had a bad fumble problem to anyone, but we can't have where it's the drop passes, the little things you have to execute versus this team. And if you're able to do that, and like you said, get out in front early, if you're able to get out in front early on this team, and like I said, they have to continue to drop back. And you got Chris Jones. I mean, we saw like that
Hey,
man.
he's
So
different.
it's getting me fired up right now.
Yeah, and I think most things point towards we are going to perform much better than last matchup. Most things point to that. I mean, think about it. At the time, we were the team that was banged up. I mean, they were banged up at pass catcher, but it's not like their pass catchers have that big of a drop off. They were
Right.
Amari Cooper had a thing on his hand. I believe Dalton Kincaid was out. Keon Coleman was out. Keon Coleman hasn't really done much since coming back. We were missing Ominahu, Jalen Watson, Hollywood Brown. Come on. It's not even, and they're actually banged up from last week in their secondary. I know Taylor Rapp, their starting safety's out. So they're gonna have a rookie playing at safety. Their corner, which one is it? Benford has a concussion and he might play.
Yeah, Benford.
He's probably gonna play, but I mean, concussion, you can be, if you get hit in the head, you're probably out of the game. And then Milano has a hamstring injury. You know how soft tissue injuries are. If he tweaks that, he's out of the game. And so
Nagging.
yeah. And also, we didn't sack them once.
Yeah.
We lost by 9. We lost the turnover battle. We lost the sack battle, if that exists. All the things. Travis Kelce had 2 catches for 8 yards.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's do this, baby. Let's get to our
That's what I think
third
it's going to
straight.
be a lot different. And we've seen it over the years of what they do in the regular season compared to what they do versus the Chiefs in the postseason.
Yeah.
But if they are able to get past this Buffalo Bills team and have a chance to play in New Orleans for another Super Bowl, what does this mean in a large perspective on
Yeah.
having a chance to three-peat in the NFL?
I mean, it's like, I mean, the thing that's sad is everyone rooted for Michael Jordan. When he was on the Bulls,
Right.
people watched basketball to watch Michael Jordan. And so I wish people treated us with the same type of respect as that. Because, I mean, what we're watching is special. And in the NFL, it's much harder. You don't have 7 games to win a series or 5 games to win a series. You have to win in 60 minutes. And if you turn the ball over twice or once, you probably aren't going to win. And so it's that much harder. On top of that, even let's say we don't win the Super Bowl, which we're going to win the Super Bowl. Well, let's say we don't. This is already the most successful 3-season run in NFL history. Honestly, as long as it's a close game tomorrow, it's the most successful run in NFL history for 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And we can extend that 4 seasons, 5 seasons, 6 seasons. Maybe we could almost do 7 seasons. I don't know. Some of the New England Patriots runs were pretty successful over 7 years. But we are witnessing as Chiefs fans the greatest team in football history. Like, there's no other way to slice it, especially if we get this done. So, big picture.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, how blessed we are to witness this.
Yeah, absolutely blessed. That's why you always have to remind Chiefs fans is, again, none of this is ever guaranteed. So this AFC Championship game, you enjoy it because there was a time where the best dynasty we know in football, Patriots, didn't win a Super Bowl for 10 years. If Marshawn Lynch gets the ball to the 1-yard line, it's another 12 years, 13 years. So who knows? So make sure you guys enjoy this. It is going to be a big one at 6:30 Eastern time. I'm excited. Zach, I'll let you go first and give me your game prediction as we close up.
I'm going to say Chiefs. I think we're going to break 30. I think we're going to do it. Yeah, I know. That's the craziest take of the day. The Chiefs are going to break 30. We're going to go 31 points, okay? And since it's a special game, let's give a little more predictions. Let's go with our game MVP. Let's go the game MVP as well, other than Mahomes. I'm going to go 31-24 Kansas City. Okay.
31-24. So you're thinking high scoring.
Okay,
31.
I mean, I
I
think
could see it like on
naturally,
ESPN, them saying it. It's
naturally,
the first time the Chiefs cracked 30.
yeah, I just think naturally in these playoff games, even if let's say the defenses even play well, I mean, the urgency, the the head to head between the two best quarterbacks in the game, like it's just destined to points to happen, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go 31-24. And my game MVP,
I'm
ah, okay, you go score first. I need to think about that. What you thinking?
I'm gonna go the opposite. I think because I know a lot. I've seen a lot of people like 34, 33. I'm like, the Chiefs defense ain't giving up 30 again. I know they're the one team that gave 30 up to um, last time. I'm gonna go 23-17 Chiefs. I think the Chiefs defense really comes out, and I think it's going to be similar to last year. Because remember how it was? The Chiefs were up like 14-3 last
I,
year, and it was pretty cruise control.
I mean, no, we weren't up 14-3. I think we went up because they were up, and then we took the lead, and then they took the lead right before halftime, and then we took the lead coming out of halftime.
In the Ravens game?
Oh, sorry, I was thinking Bills game.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, the last
Sorry.
AFC
Okay,
Championship.
yeah. Yeah,
Because
we were
I
up.
mean,
Yeah.
we were up pretty much the entire game, and then they got that garbage
Yeah,
time
17
touchdown.
to
I
7,
think that's
17 to
what.
7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
Yeah.
17-3 or whatever for the longest. I
Yeah,
think
17-7
unless
because they had the Zay
they
Flowers touchdown, but we had the 2 touchdowns early and the field goal. So
yeah. So
17-7.
I think it's going to be that early. I think the Chiefs are going to lead like 13-3 or 17-7. Um, and the Bills may score late, make it a close game towards the end. But I think this defense is going to come out ready to play. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to do enough to keep the ball away from Josh Allen and keep his guys cold in Arrowhead. Because we got to remember, guys, they didn't get us last year in Buffalo. Now they're coming back to Arrowhead.
Yeah.
They're coming back to Arrowhead, and our fans are going to be ready. Zach, I know you're going to be yelling there. Make sure if you're at the game or not at the game,
I'm
make sure
not.
that Kansas City feels it doesn't matter. You're still in the city, man. You're
Yep.
still going to be there.
I was there last
Make
week.
sure
I was yelling.
make sure everyone's ready to go. I'm making sure
Oh, yeah.
everyone in Orlando is ready to go. I'm at the gym telling.
They're
I got
probably
bets
like, what
going
is this
on
guy
at my
talking?
gym.
Oh, for real?
So
That's dope.
I'm ready to go. Zach, I know you're ready to go. The fans are ready to go. We're going to get out of here. Hopefully, next time you guys see us, we'll be on our way to another Super Bowl. Zach, any last words for the Chiefs fans?
Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. And hopefully next time I talk to y'all, we are on our way to get our 3rd straight Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. On our way to Bourbon Street, on our way to New Orleans. Hopefully after this, when you guys see us, I may make a little video tomorrow after we get that dub. But we'll see you guys next time on the TPT podcast.